Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Fibryna Nugroho. You can call me Phoebe for short. I'm from class 3C with my study number is 222-322-0026. In this opportunity, I would happily like to share some from the paper that I have read with the title Study Abroad's Contributions to Critical Thinking and World Citizenship. It's written by A. Min Nguyen. This paper argues that the development of critical and creative thinking skills is essential for personal and academic growth. Study abroad experiences have been shown to enhance both creative and critical thinking, leading to the realization of the Socratic and Diogenes ideals of cultivating rational individuals and societies and citizens of the world. To realize these ideals, the papers recommend specific policies and practices to facilitate the growth of participants in study abroad programs. So, let's head down and explore all of the points. First one is the benefits of study abroad. Study abroad is typically viewed as a life changing experience by participants with long term impacts on personal, academic, and professional growth. In 2002, the Institute for International Education of Students, or IES, conducted a large scale survey of study abroad alumni covering a period of 50 years. The survey results showed that study abroad participants experience positive growth in areas such as personal development, intercultural understanding, there is also academic commitment, and career development. The survey also found that a study abroad can encourage individuals to explore diverse cultures, learn new languages, develop international work skills, and volunteer abroad. These benefits can last for many years after the study abroad experience. So, overall, the survey data indicates that study abroad can be a valuable and life changing experience with many positive outcomes for participants. All right, so we're moving on next is beyond the cultural and linguistic benefits. So this is the second point. So it mainly discussed the reliability of self-report data related to the benefits of study abroad and whether the reported positive changes could be due to social desirability bias. The author also highlights that there are objective measurement tools such as pretest and protest and post-test to assess improvements beyond cultural and linguistic benefits such as creative thinking and communication skills. Additionally, the author points to five studies that demonstrate the correlation between living abroad and enhanced creativity, identifying adaptation as the critical mechanism. The author here concludes that study abroad has the potential to increase creativity by providing participants with the opportunity to adapt to a new culture. So next, we're heading to the inseparability of creativity and critically this paragraph discusses the relationship between creative thinking and critical thinking, which is often viewed as separate ways of thinking. The author presents an explanation of the model of the critical thinking developed by Richard Paul and Linda Elder, which state that creative thinking and critical thinking are interwoven and that the acquisition of several critical thinking traits is enhanced through study abroad. While there may be difference between creative and critical thinking, these traits can overlap, and individuals who possess critical thinking skills may also possess creative thinking skills, and vice versa. The author also notes that study abroad promotes the development of creative thinking and several critical thinking traits, and therefore it promotes the development of critical thinking as well. So now we're moving on to the fourth one, which is the interdependence of intellectual traits. In this one, the author describes the concept of critical thinking and the model developed by Richard Paul and Linda Elder that defines it as the art of analyzing and evaluating thinking with a view to improving it. A critical thinking is characterized by several traits, including intellectual humanity, intellectual courage, and then intellectual empathy, intellectual perseverance, and then the fifth one is intellectual integrity. The sixth one is intellectual autonomy, confidence in reasons, and fair mindedness. The author argues that critical thinking is more than just knowing a certain set of skills and involves the possession of these traits and a commitment to accept and employ the results thereof to guide one's behavior. The traits required to establish intellectual humility, such as intellectual integrity and intellectual courage, can only be achieved through intellectual autonomy and intellectual empathy, respectively. To discover our own biases and prejudice, we need intellectual empathy, which requires intellectual perseverance, in addition to creativity and imagination. And then a fair minded thinker treats all viewpoints equally and applies the same intellectual standards through and through, without reference to their own advantage or the advantage of any of their groups. This requires intellectual humility to realize one's ignorance and limitations, as well as intellectual courage to face one's biases and preconceived ideas. The author suggests that the study abroad experience promotes the development of critical thinking traits, particularly intellectual humility and intellectual courage, and therefore it promotes the development of critical thinking as a whole. Alright, so now we're moving on to the cultivation of critical thinkings. So, study abroad helps students develop several intellectual traits such as intellectual humility, intellectual courage, intellectual empathy, and intellectual perseverance. The study abroad experience expands understanding of culture biases and the world modifies socio-political positions, leads to a more diverse circle of friends, and strengthens commitment to language study in graduate school. So, students generally demonstrate an increase in understanding of international and cultural issues, flexibility and adaptability in new environments, tolerance toward diverse backgrounds, open mindedness, and curiosity, and critical skills such as resourcefulness, creative thinking. There's also problem solving, decision making, socializing, negotiation, leadership, and teamwork in diverse settings. So, study abroad also promotes the development of critical thinking and its interdependent traits, like intellectual integrity, intellectual autonomous, confidence in reasons, and fair mindedness. Hence, study abroad is a valuable experience that fosters the growth of intellectual traits and also critical thinking. And then we're moving on to the sixth one, which is the Socratic ideal of rationality. So, in here describes how Socrates, as portrayed in Plato's works, was a critical thinker who demonstrated all the traits that are part of critical thinking which is he was intellectually humble, courageous, empathic, and persistent. He had intellectual autonomy and integrity, and he was fair minded and confident in reason. The last part in here is discussed about how critical thinking is essential for a healthy society and how education that encourage critical thinking is the key to creating a society that is less susceptible to manipulation and delusion. All right, so next we're going on to the Diogenes ideal of cosmopolitanism. All right, so study abroad allows individuals to not only develop critical traits and habits but also become citizens of the world, known as cosmopolitanism. This model of being involves certain virtues and commitments, including concern for others, respect for differences, commitment to universal truth, and there's also tolerance, pluralism, and also fallibilism. These traits are similar to those required for critical thinking, which include confidence in reason, intellectual humility, intellectual courage, intellectual empathy, intellectual perseverance, intellectual integrity, intellectual autonomy, and also fair mindedness. Thus, by studying abroad, individuals can achieve both the Socratic and also Diogenean ideals, resulting in better rounded individuals and society. Alright, so we're moving on to the last one, which is a few modest proposals. There are three keys in here suggestion for ensuring intellectual growth for students studying abroad. So, the first one is study abroad should be part of any effort to promote critical and creative thinking at all levels of education. The second one, study abroad programs should prioritize opportunities for students to adapt the host country's culture to increase creativity and also criticality. And then the last one, the three, is institutions should initiate and pursue assessment to better understand the impact of study abroad on students' intellectual development, similar to assessment done in other area of campus programs. All right, now as I'm almost come to the end, I would like to share the benefits by you reading this paper. I think from me, by reading this paper, we can gain a better understanding of the importance of study abroad experiences for critical thinking and world citizenship skills. We can see and hear how these experiences can help students develop important life skills such as critical thinking, and there's also cultural competence and also empathy, which are essentials in a rapidly changing world. Also become more aware of their roles as a global citizens. Additionally, study abroad programs can help students develop important analytical skills such as in problem solving, and there's also communication and critical thinking, which it can be applied in a variety of contexts. So, talking next about the weaknesses from this paper context, um, I guess the authors also acknowledges that study abroad programs have some potential drawbacks, such as the need for appropriate cultural sensitivity training and the cost of overseas travel. But overall, it seems that there are no significant weaknesses or flaws in the context of the paper. The author presents a strong argument that development of creative and critical thinking skills is essential for personal and academic growth, and that study abroad experiences can effectively enhance these skills. All right, so next, as such, we might consider possible future actions such as in improving critical thinking. So, critical thinking is not just an academic skill, but rather a valuable tool that can help us navigate the complexities of our day to day lives. By regularly engaging in critical thinking exercises, we can be more insightful and better positioned to make informed decisions, both in our personal and professional lives. As we move forward, we must prioritize the development of critical thinking skills and promote a culture of lifelong learning. So, let us work together to build a more compassionate, mindful, and inclusive society. All right, so I think that's all what I can share to you today. I would like to sincerely thank you for you guys for taking the time to listen together with me. I apologize for any mistake or inaccuracies from what I have shared, and hopefully the information that I shared today can be useful and valuable for everyone as we together continue our education and pursue our goals. Thank you so much. I will see you in another opportunities. I'm Fibryna Nugroho signing off. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Have a nice day, everyone.